Welcome to the Liverpool Talking newspaper for the week ending Saturday, the 23rd of February 2019, edition number 1874. It's hello from Margo Guppy,
Pat Beveridge,
Steve Reardon,
and Charlie Formby.
who is also our technician.
And the prettiest one here.
I can't argue.
and
Hello.
we wouldn't
we
dare.
can't, we
We
can't.
wouldn't dare.
Hello everybody, hope everybody's well. Are we enjoying this mild weather with the bit of a fear that the cold weather's going to come along any time soon?
Yeah, it's been nice the last week, hasn't it?
It's not been bad. Yeah, it's not been bad. Yeah.
And the days are getting longer.
They are. Yes. We'll start off because we've got quite a bit to get through. But before we sally forth into our bits and pieces, I've got a little bit of an advert here which might interest people. I know a guy called Paul Ryan, and he's an IT man. And I'll read the blurb on his piece of paper.
Has he got a brother called Barry? And does he sing? It's all right. It's an old.
and a mother called
Yes.
Just
Marilyn.
Marion.
Marion. Yeah, that's right.
have I come to the wrong place? Have
Yes, you
have
have.
I ended up in the loony bin?
You have.
Right, okay. Right, this is called Accessible UK. It's here to support people living with sight loss throughout Merseyside. It is our aim is to support you to feel confident in using your own digital technology in the comfort of your own home. We offer support with Windows, iPad, Android, etc., Microsoft Office, app including Facebook, Skype, technology support, access technology including Zoom Text, JAWS, Supernova, Dolphin and Guide. For anybody who doesn't know, that's speech packages for computers, and various other devices. He's very good and he's clever. His telephone number is, and I'll try and repeat it a bit later on, 07519 922 209. And his email address is accessible, I'll spell it, ACCESSIBILIT.UK at Gmail. Now, I will leave a notice here for anybody who wants to ring up, or you can ring me on 726-0161 and I will give you the details. It's very good if you're having problems with anything to do with IT, if you're visually impaired or not, and he's visually impaired himself. Right, we'll go straight on to a quiz, and as this is the year of the pig, we've got a bit of a theme.
Because it is the year of the pig, we've got a pig quiz.
Oi.
Question 1. What was the name of the sheep pig in the famous film? Was it A, Shep, B, Babe, or C, Piglet?
It was Old Yeller.
Question 2. Which Staffordshire town is associated with a breed of pig? Is it A, Tamworth? Is it B, Lichfield? Or is it C, Leek?
I used to have a leak in my boat. It sank.
Question 3. The Old Spot pig is associated with which city? Is that Leeds? Or B, Gloucester? Or C, Chester?
Good one.
And question 4. What is the name of Winnie the Pooh's porky friend? Is he A, Squealer, B, Bacon, or C, Piglet?
It's Chops, isn't it?
I thought it might be ribs, actually. Question 5. What is Del Boy's family name?
Oh.
Is it A, Bacon, B, Trotter, or C, Tusk?
Tusk.
Question 6. How many pigs were used to make the film Babe? Is that 12, or B, 24, or C, 48?
One was hiding.
Yeah.
And question 7. What are the colour of an old spots pig skin? Is it A, white skin with brown spots? Is it black skin with white spots? Or is it C, white skin with black spots?
That's a Dalmatian.
Mhm. Question 8. What's the term for a female pig? Is it A, a dame? Is it B, a sow? Or is it C, nanny?
Nanny pig.
Question 9. Where in the Chinese cycle does the year of the pig come? Is it A, year 7, B, year 3, or C, year 12?
Uh-huh.
And question 10. What material did the middle little pig used to build his house?
Oh,
Concrete blocks.
Was it A, brick? Was it B, straw? Or was it C, wood?
well, there we are. You see, you didn't know there were so many questions about pigs.
I've got 2 more.
Oh, it's going to go to 12?
Mm.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Because the year is...
Oh, yes, sorry. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Question 11. Can pigs sweat? Yes? Or B, no?
See, I don't know.
And question 12. Which little piggy stayed at home?
This one.
Was it the second one? Was it B, the third one? Or was it C, the fifth one?
Thank you very much, Pat.
Yeah.
I used to keep pigs, and if people think that pigs are unintelligent, they are far from it. I used to have one particular pig that I kept in a loose box. That's a farm building with 2 doors. And she knew when I absent-mindedly forgot to shut the door properly, particularly when the bread man came, because I lived in the middle of nowhere, and the bread man came twice a week. And she'd lift her snout under the door, lift the door up, and trot off down the lane on a regular basis. She knew when I hadn't locked that door. Bless her. Right, we are going over to something a trifle more intelligent now. Seeing as Prince Charles and Camilla were in Liverpool last week, reopening the Albert Dock, making it to the Royal Albert Dock, Steve has got some information
This
for you.
information is about the original opening of the Albert Dock in Liverpool. And it's taken from a report by the Liverpool Daily Courier on July the 30th, 1846. The Albert Dock was opened by Queen Victoria's husband, Prince Albert, in what was the first state royal visit to Liverpool. From almost every window of the immense piles of warehouses, flags were displayed. Nothing could exceed it in grandeur or effect. It was a gorgeous spectacle. Prince Albert entered on the royal yacht Fairy, describing it as a truly imposing sight. Said to those gathered, "The recollection of the splendid sight I have witnessed today will never be effaced from my memory."
Is that him? Oh.
He was to the point.
Well, he
was,
was.
yes.
He didn't mess around.
Didn't waste words.
He was married to Victoria. I mean,
He
you
was.
had to be careful, wouldn't you?
They had about 18 children. And he
No,
died young,
don't be
wasn't
silly. 9.
I-
9, was it?
Yes.
Can you imagine a royal yacht today being called Fairy?
Right. We're going over to something equally sensible now. Charlie's going to read a piece about Central Station when it was just a little bit more than an underground station.
Uh-huh. Well, isn't that gorgeous? So it is. Liverpool Central Railway Station. Liverpool Central Railway Station forms the central hub of the Merseyrail network, being both on the Northern Line and on the Wirral Line. The station is located underground on 2 levels, below the site of a former railway terminus. It is the busiest station in Liverpool, though considerably smaller than Lime Street. The main line terminus and the busiest station to operate fully in the Merseyrail network. In terms of passengers, entries and exits between April 2010 and March 2011, Liverpool Central Station is the 7th busiest station outside London. The station is the busiest underground station outside London, serving 40,000 people daily. That's quite a lot, isn't it?
That's a lot.
Yeah.
The station in passengers per platform is the busiest underground railway station in the United Kingdom at 5,217,347 people per platform per year,
Wow.
and laying 3rd in all stations underground and overground. Liverpool Central is one of the 9 stations on the Merseyrail network to incorporate automatic ticket gates. The main concourse is part of a shopping centre and includes a subway link to part of the former Lewis's department store. The original station, which was a large above ground terminals, opened on the 2nd of March 1874 at the end of the Cheshire Lines committee lines to Manchester Central. It replaced Brunswick Station as the CLC's Liverpool terminus, becoming the headquarters of the committee. The 3-storey building fronted Ranelagh Street in the city centre, with a 65-foot high arched iron glass train shed behind it. There were 6 platforms within the station, offering journeys to Manchester Central in 45 minutes, making the route the quickest and most direct between Liverpool and Manchester. London, St Pancras, Hull, Harwich, Stockport, Tiviotdale, Southport, Lord Street, and an alternative London route to that of the Midland Railway, terminating at London Marylebone. That was a mouthful. Until the nationalisation of Britain's railways, the station was always busy. But as with many other stations in the UK, it was closed under the Beeching Acts, as the service could be taken from nearby Liverpool Lime Street. In 1966, most services on the CLC routes were diverted to Lime Street via the Hunts Cross Chord, leaving only a dozen urban commuter trains per day to and from Gattaca. These final services were withdrawn on the 17th of April 1972 with a promise to reinstate the Gattaca route when the Merseyrail network was completed in 1978. The high-level station was demolished in 1973, having served a short time as a car park, although some former station buildings remain while work was in progress on the rebuilding of the underground station in the mid-70s. The area of the train shed now forms the centre of the installed Central Village development. Liverpool Central Low Underground Terminal Station opened on the 11th of January 1892 at the end of the Merseyrail's route via the Merseyrail railway tunnel from Birkenhead. When the route was extended from James Street Station, the Merseyrail platforms were underground, accessed from stairs within the high-level station and situated roughly in the same position as the escalators accessing the Northern Line today. The Merseyrail railway tunnel, entering Central Low Level from the north of the station, was aligned with the high-level station's approach tunnel from the south. This was to ensure minimum engineering work if ever the 2 tunnels were to be linked up, as did occur in the 1970s. And that's the end of that.
Right, I remember using trains in Central Station. What I find fault with Central Station now, it has the smallest lift ever.
Yeah.
you can get maybe somebody with a pram and one other person in. And I know when my husband was alive, you could get a wheelchair and one person. That was it. And it's an awful lot. And I've said to the staff before now, why don't you build a bigger... Oh, it's money. Well, if you get more people using the lift, surely it's
Yeah.
less
Yeah.
energy.
The other thing is there is only one lift as well.
That's right.
It shows the importance of Liverpool in the days when it was built as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah,
And they
absolutely.
never reinstated the Gattaca route either.
No.
No,
I thought Gattaca had been shut by beaching in the 60s, but obviously not. 72,
Yeah.
just before I went to live there.
Mm.
And it would have been an ideal route for me, a non-driver in those days,
Yeah.
just round
Yeah.
the corner,
Yeah.
to
yeah.
get on the train and get into town.
There used to be a station over in Birkenhead by Camel Lands
That's right. Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know when that was closed.
No, I don't know. No, right. Okay, well, that's enough the stations at the moment. We are going back to docks now. And Steve is going to read a larger piece about how the Royal Albert Dock originally was built. It's not Steve, it's Pat. Rub it out. I'm having a senior moment. Okay, Pat.
Thank you, Margaret. The Royal Albert Dock. It was officially opened by His Royal Highness Prince Albert in 1846, as you heard earlier on. Its designers, Jessie Hartley and Philip Hardwick, had begun to build their masterpiece in 1841, and it was finally completed in 1847 at the cost of £782,265.
Gosh, that's a lot of money for those days.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It was the first structure in Britain to be built from cast iron, brick and stone, with no structural wood. As a result, it was the first non-combustible warehouse system in the world. It has 1.29 million square metres of warehouse space, a lot of which has now been used for other purposes, and a 7.75 acre dock basin area. At the time of its construction, the Albert Dock, as it was known, before receiving its royal status in 2018, was considered a revolutionary docking system because ships were loaded and unloaded directly from and to the warehouses. 2 years after its opening, it was modified to feature the world's first hydraulic cranes. Due to its open yet secure design, the Albert Dock became a popular store for valuable cargo, such as brandy, cotton, tea, silk, tobacco, ivory, and sugar. However, shipping technology rapidly developed, which meant that despite the dock's advanced design, within 50 years, larger, more open docks were required. But it remained a valuable store for a variety of cargo until the 1930s. During World War II, the Albert Dock was requisitioned by the Admiralty, serving as a base for boats of the British Atlantic Fleet. The complex was damaged during air raids on Liverpool, most notably during the May Blitz. In the aftermath of the war, the financial problems of the owners and the general decline of docking in the city meant that the future of the Albert Dock was very uncertain. Numerous plans were developed for the reuse of the buildings, but none came to fruition, and in 1972 the dock was finally closed. Having lain derelict for nearly 10 years, the redevelopment began in 1984. Today, the Albert Dock is a major tourist site in the city and the most visited multi-use attraction in the UK outside of London. It is now a vital component of Liverpool's designated World Heritage Maritime Mercantile City. And the docking complex of warehouses also comprise the single largest collection of Grade 1 listed buildings anywhere in the UK, outside of London.
You see, we're very lucky, really. I think if you live in a city, you become very blasé about what we have. That's the case, isn't it? I mean, because we live here, we forget our history sometimes. Yeah.
But we don't forget, do we, the desolation that was Liverpool in the earlier part of the 1980s.
Especially around the dock area.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering, it's said that Jesse Hartley and Philip Hardwick designed the dock. Is that the Hartley of the jam making?
I don't know.
No, I wouldn't have thought so.
No, I wouldn't.
But isn't there an area in Aintree called Hartley's
Village, yes.
Hartley's Village?
Yeah, we'll have to look it up. We'll have to find out.
Okay.
Right, we are moving on. We're going back to railways now. Steve's going to talk about Exchange Station.
Liverpool Exchange Station. Located on Tithe Barn Street, the station opened in 1850 and was run by the Lancashire and Yorkshire Railway with the East Lancashire Railway. The two companies made uneasy bedfellows, with neither even being able to agree on a name for the station. The Lancashire and Yorkshire Railway favoured Borough Jail after a local prison, and the East Lancashire Railway favoured Great Howard Street. Traffic soon built to such a level that the Great Howard Street terminus was moved to Tithe Barn Street. Even now, the companies disagreed on a name, with LYR calling it Liverpool Exchange and ELR calling it Liverpool Tithe Barn Street. The frontage stood 90 feet above street level, as the lines had to clear the Leeds and Liverpool Canal. Built of stone in the Italian style, it was 2 stories high and 117 feet wide, containing separate booking offices for both companies. At right angles to the frontage were 2 single-story wings containing waiting and refreshment rooms. Behind the main building were 5 tracks covered by 2 huge glass roofs. The station was Liverpool to Wigan line via Kirby, though both were heavily used. The recommendation was rejected. Some said it was only included so the government could reject it in a political move. I'm so sorry, I've skipped a page. I didn't realise it was on the other side of the page.
It happens.
Yeah. So I'll go back. Behind the main building were 5 tracks covered by 2 huge glass roofs. The station was widely praised as a handsome piece of architecture. In 1859, the L&YR absorbed the ELR and the station became Liverpool Exchange. Due to increasing traffic, it was decided in 1882 to lower the frontage by diverting the Leeds and Liverpool Canal. The contract was awarded to Robert Neal and Sons for £97,997 in 1884. The station hotel was 4 stories high, fronting onto Tithe Barn Street, costing £142,000. The 2 archways at the centre formed the entrance to the station. By now there were 10 platforms arranged in 6 islands, with 2 timber-built ticket offices in the circulating area between platforms 3 and 4. In 1904, the Southport passenger lines were electrified to compete with the new electric tram companies starting up locally. In May 1941, the roof was damaged during the Blitz and had to be demolished. Train services did not return to normal until late 1942. The Beeching report in 1963 recommended the closure of the Southport commuter line and the Liverpool to Wigan line via Kirby, though both were heavily used. The recommendation was rejected. Some said it was only included so that the government could reject it in a political move to show not all lines recommended by Beeching would close. On March the 5th, 1967, platforms 1, 2 and 3 were taken out of use. By 1968, the service to Glasgow was the only remaining scheduled steam service in Britain. An Act of Parliament was obtained by MPTE in 1971 to build an underground system, including a link from Lime Street to Exchange and Central via James Street. It was then proposed that a new station, Moorfields, be built to replace Exchange. In May 1973, platforms 8, 9 and 10 were closed. The last departure from Liverpool Exchange was at 23:35 on Friday, the 29th of April 1977. It ran to Lime Street via Wigan Walgate. The station officially closed the next day. In the mid-1980s, the station hotel frontage was built into the new Mercury Court office complex. The train sheds and platforms are now a car park.
Oh, God.
Oh.
Didn't you go to Blackpool from Exchange? Do I have a memory that you went to Blackpool from
I think
Exchange?
you may well have done. I
Yeah.
know I've been to Southport from there.
Right.
Yes, he used to go to Southport, yeah.
Right.
So it could be
Could it?
you know,
Yeah. I
a
remember.
northern sort of line.
Yeah. Before I lived in Liverpool, Michael and I used to come and stay, and we stayed at the Bradford Hotel, which was near Exchange Station, and we looked up all the hotels that could accommodate a wheelchair, and this was in the RAC guide for the disabled. It had a flight of steps and a revolving door. That was fun. Every time we went in and out the hotel, Michael had to be pushed through the kitchens at the back and meet me at the front. It was terrible, terrible. So not everything. I think it's a bit more strict now.
Did you write to the AA and tell them?
Oh, after out to everybody. You didn't get away with it, yes.
You can't get to Glasgow direct from Liverpool anymore. You can't get to Scotland at
No.
all. You've got to go to Wigan
That's right.
Wigan and
or
Yeah.
to Warrington Bank Quay.
yes.
Yeah.
Um,
Wigan, I find, is one of the worst places, because I book assistance and so do a lot of other vision impaired people when they travel by train. I think Wigan is the worst station I've ever come across for getting assistance. I think they all go and hide in a cupboard when they see somebody with a white cane or a dog. It's dreadful. Anyway, we must move on, because now we're having a piggy story.
Oh,
Charlie's going to read a story about
this
Patrick.
is called Mother Murphy's Secret, and it's written by Margaret Guppy. Yes, you're right. Our Margaret. Mother Murphy was known far and wide. She was famous for her lotions and potions, her mixtures and her pills. Anyone would be glad to have Mother Murphy for a grandmother. Her white hair was tied into a neat bun. She had blue eyes that twinkled and cheeks that shone like rosy apples. Just to listen to her quiet voice and see her gentle smile was to feel better if you were ill, calm if you were cross. This dear old lady lived down a peaceful country lane in the middle of nowhere. When she wasn't at home entertaining her many visitors, she could be seen with a basket over her arm walking the lanes, searching in the woods, fields and hedgerows for plants, roots, leaves and flowers for her mixtures. The inside of her house was as bright as a new penny. Every room was crammed with shelves and cupboards filled with bottles and jars of every shape and size, and every colour of the rainbow. At the bottom of the garden was a shed where Mother Murphy dried the plants and herbs and mixed all the secret ingredients. Her visitors were made welcome. She was always there with a remedy or good advice. It was said she should cure anything from warts to corns, lumps and bumps, toothache, headache, backache and front ache. People even consulted her about their sick pets and farm animals. It wasn't as though she was a witch, you know, just a very wise old lady. Farmer Riley made his way across the cobbled yard. He carried a pail full of dull yellow mess that was Patrick's tea. Patrick was already out of his shelter, having heard the familiar sound coming towards him. "Come on, me beauty," cried the farmer, as he leaned over the wall of the pigsty and tipped the contents of the pail into the trough. "This is the life for me," thought Patrick, as he guzzled the food before him. There was nothing to do all day but eat and sleep. Some days, as a special treat, the pig would be led into the field to search for tasty morsels amongst the grass and weeds. "That's it, Paddy. Eat up, and this time next year you'll be just the right size." Patrick felt very proud. "Just think, Farmer Riley will be taking me up to the country fair to enter me in the competition for the finest pig in the land. I'll be famous. So I will," thought Patrick, as he lay down in the straw with a full stomach. The days went by, and Patrick ate and slept. Sometimes he lay in the sun, or went for a stroll in the field. He got bigger and bigger, and every day the farmer patted him and said what a fine pig he was. One hot summer's day, as Patrick lay in the field, he heard voices and several pairs of footsteps coming towards him. "Look at that," said a voice. "Did you ever see such a fine animal?" Other voices agreed. "That's a fine piece of meat you got there, Mick. He'll soon be ready for market." Patrick could hardly believe what he'd heard. "Market? Not market, he's made a mistake. I'm going to the country fair to win a prize for that being the handsome pig." Patrick closed his ears and tried to forget what he'd heard. A few more days and weeks went by. Nothing changed except the pig kept an alert ear for more bits of information. Then one horrible day, when Farmer Riley brought his feed, he said, "Only one more meal after this, and it's off to market for you, my lad." The pig could go pale. If the pigs could go pale, this is what happened to Patrick. What was he going to do? He tried to eat his tea, but all of a sudden he'd lost his appetite. He had to think, and he couldn't do that on a full stomach. With his head down, he walked over to the door of his home, and went inside and sat down. "Perhaps if I don't finish me food, the farmer will think I'm ill. He can't send me to market then. No, that's no use," thought Patrick. "He'll only send me to the vet, and I'll have to take some nasty medicine." All of a sudden, he had a brilliant idea. "I'll run away, that's what I'll do. I'll run away." So, when it was dark, Patrick was sure everyone was in bed and asleep. He carefully pushed at the door of his sty. Being a big pig, it didn't take long to prise the door open. Soon, by the light of the moon, he was trotting along the country lanes, trying to get as far away as possible from Farmer O'Reilly. "I'm not going to end up in someone's pork pie," he said. The next morning, the farmer went to the pigsty to feed his pig, and he found it empty. Mick scratched his head. "Oh dear me prize pig has gone, and the wagon will soon be here to collect him. I'll have to go looking along the lanes. He can't be far." Much later, Patrick was found under a hedge, exhausted. He got a proper scolding from his owner, and as he was loaded into the trailer that took him back home. No matter how hard the farmer tried to keep Patrick in his sty, he always ran away. So often did it happen that he got thinner and thinner. Mick O'Reilly just did not know what to do. At last resort, he paid a visit to Mother Murphy, and she agreed to come and have a look at the troublesome pig and see what she could do to help. One day, as Patrick sat in his pigsty, looking at the full trough of food, he felt sick. How could he eat when he was so worried? He couldn't keep running away forever. Just then a white-haired old lady popped her head over the wall of the pigsty. "Look at him," said the farmer. "He's not half the pig he was. If things go on like this, I'll hardly get any money for him at the market. I've already lost a fortune chasing him round the countryside." "Poor pig," thought Mother Murphy, as she looked at the sad little pig, the sad eyes of the little wayward pig. I know what's the matter with him. He's frightened. But she did not say this to the farmer. Can you do anything for him? Asked the farmer. Well, said Mother Mary, I'll have a try. I'll give you some medicine to put in his food. That might do the trick. Mother Mary did not say much more. She just patted Patrick on the head and said, Never mind. Patrick felt that he had found a friend who understood him. Later that day, he saw the farmer mix something in his trough, and because he knew Mother Murphy to be a kind old lady, he slurped up all his food. Next morning, Mick O'Reilly went to the pigsty and once again found it empty. A fat lot of good that medicine did, thought the farmer. The day after the visit, the day after the visit to the poor pig, Mother Murphy got ready to go on her usual walk along the lanes to look for leaves and flowers. Off she set down the garden path, and, opening the gate into the lane, she got quite a surprise. There, sat patiently waiting, was Patrick. Paddy, me darling, how did you manage to find your way here so quickly? They'll be looking for you, and if they find you, I will get into trouble. Come, let me make... Doesn't make sense. They will be looking for you, and if they find you here, I will get into trouble. Come on, let me take you around the back while I can think of what to do with you. It's all right, said the old lady. She saw the frightened look on the pig's eyes. I won't take you back to the farmer. Mick searched far and wide for his once famous pig, but it could not be found. He asked around the towns and villages and even put posters in important places. Lost. Patrick the pig. Reward. No one claimed the reward because no one ever saw Patrick again, ever since he took Mother Murphy's medicine. Of course, Farmer O'Reilly was not too pleased with the old lady's remedy. In fact, he told everyone that her potion did not work. But everyone knew better. People could only guess at what had happened to Patrick. Some said he had been stolen. Some said that he secretly sold because he got too much trouble for the farmer. Some even thought that Mother Murphy had something to do with it. But no one could prove anything. It seemed very strange that all of a sudden there appeared in Mother Murphy's house a pig with a smile that looked a lot like Patrick.
Thank you very much. Yeah. Yes, we're all children at
lovely.
heart.
Yes.
We're all children at heart. Well, very well read, Charlie. Now something sensible, or not. The answers to the quiz and the birthdays.
Today we want to welcome a new listener to our Talking newspaper. So it's Philip Dickinson. So welcome, Philip. I hope you enjoy this edition and all the others you're going to get. And we move then on to the February birthdays. So we say happy birthday to Janice Neville, whose birthday was on the 1st. And on the 4th it was Mark Bell's. And on the 5th, Joyce Gent's birthday. The 11th, Ronald Alexander. And the 12th, Patricia Proctor and Jane Berry. And the 19th, Amy Goodwin.
Right, thank you very much.
Happy birthday to them. And now, what you've all been waiting for.
I didn't know most of those.
Year
They know you, though.
of the Pig quiz. What was the name of the sheep pig in the famous film?
Yeah. Hey, you.
Was it Shep? Was it Babe? Or was it Piglet? And of course,
It was Babe.
it was Babe.
As in the film's title.
That'll do, babe.
Question 2. Which Staffordshire town is associated with a breed of pig? Is it A. Tamworth? Is it B. Lichfield? Or is it C. Leek?
It was
Tamworth.
It was Tamworth.
It was in Worth.
And Tony Leek is associated with the sausages, not actually the pig.
Yeah.
3. The old spot pig is associated with which city? Is it Leeds, or B, Gloucester, or C, Chester?
Tis
Haven't got a
Gloucester.
clue.
It's Gloucester, Margaret. Well
Yes.
done.
Gloucester.
Gloucester Old Spot.
Yeah.
Question 4. What's the name of Winnie the Pooh's porky friend? Is he Squealer? Is he Bacon? Or is he C, Piglet?
He was Piglet.
He was
He was.
Piglet.
Yeah, he wasn't very porky though, was he?
Well, he was a pig.
He was a bit. Oh, he was.
He
yes.
was, yeah.
He was undoubtedly a pig. He was a piglet.
Yeah.
Question 5. What is Del Boy's family name?
Well, no, it might be
Is it Bacon? Is it Trotter? Or is it Toss?
as it's
together.
written on the side of his van. Trotter's
Trotter.
Independent Trading.
It is indeed B, Trotter. And 6. How many pigs were used to make the film Babe?
Lots.
Well, is it 12? Is it 24? Or is it 48?
It's probably 48. The more, there was.
I'll
they
go for
used-
24.
It's 48.
48.
It was there was a huge
There
amount.
were loads of them. Yeah.
The somebody told me there were over 100 Rin Tin Tins.
Really?
Yeah.
Good, huh?
What?
And a lot of lassies
Lot of
as
Yes.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah. And a few lads.
Yes.
Question 7. What are the colours of an old spots pig skin? Is it white skin with brown spots? Or B, black skin with white spots? Or white skin with black spots?
God knows.
It's right with black spots.
It's white skin with black
White
spots.
with
Well
black.
done, Margaret.
Yeah.
Just like a Dalmatian.
That's it.
Margaret is our resident pig expert.
That's it.
Question 8. What is the term for a female pig? Is she called a dame? Is she called B, a sow? Or C, a nanny?
Depends if you want to insult him.
Well,
So,
she's a sow.
She's a sow.
Yeah.
Sow's about that then.
Question 9. Where in the Chinese cycle does the year of the pig come?
In the basket on the handlebars.
Is it year 7, year 3, or year 12?
12.
And it is indeed
Yes,
year
the last
12.
one, isn't it?
And question 11. Can pigs sweat? Yes or no?
I would have thought so.
Answer is no.
Really?
Mm.
I'm surprised.
They have to cool down by wallowing in
In
the
the
mud.
water. Yes.
Oh, of course they
yes,
do,
that's
yeah.
right.
Mm.
Yes.
Nothing quite like it for cooling your dog.
That's right.
And question 12.
Hello, little bird.
Which little piggy stayed at home? Was
this
it-
one?
Was it number 2, number 3, or number 5?
2.
It was.
Yeah,
And
but-
that's the quiz.
Right. Thank you very much indeed.
I
So,
didn't know that pig was the 12th in the cycle until today.
right, there we are.
You learn something new every
Right.
day. You
And,
do.
and to finish off, Steve is going to read a bit about the year of the pig. As if you were born in the year of the pig, what your characteristics are supposed to be. Please don't be offended by anything we've said. It's written in the book.
Yeah, I'll give an introduction. The animal that hides in your heart is the Oriental way of describing the animal that rules the year of your birth, and whose characteristics are reputed to influence your personality, your behaviour, and the course of your life. There are 12 animal signs in Oriental astrology, each ruling a year in turn. Because the years of this 12-year cycle are lunar years based on the phases of the moon, they do not coincide with the solar years of the Western calendar. Each lunar year begins on a different date in January or February. The exact dates are shown in a lengthy table which indicates from the year 1925 which were the lunar years and ruling animals. I'll tell you about one or two of them in a moment. Each animal in the cycle has its own symbolic significance, but remember that these animals are animals of the Far East and that the Oriental conception of their characters and qualities is very different from Western thinking. As you've heard, the year of the pig comes 12th in the cycle, and 1935 was a year of the pig, as was 1947, 1959, 1971, 1983, 1995, 2007, and this year, 2019. Now, what is your animal nature if you're a pig? If you're a pig, you're courteous and sincere, gallant and gentle, impartial and trustworthy, lively and impulsive, calm and peace-loving, obliging and chivalrous, confident and courageous, resilient and diligent, popular and gregarious, generous and unable to bear a grudge. But you're also gullible and naive, thick-skinned and shallow, stubborn and sad, defenseless and easily duped, easily seduced, and incapable of saying no, given to treating other people's property as if it were your own, materialistic and inclined to wallow in sensuality, simplistic and superficial, an uncompetitive do-gooder who never looks to the future.
Oh my word. Please, you're not all of them.
Yeah.
You only pick one or two.
I think on that basis, pretty well everyone is a pig.
I think so.
Yes, yes.
I think so.
I think, yes. I think if you work through the list of all the different animals, you find out you pick the best, not the worst.
When we were talking about this earlier, we all assumed that it was me. But I'm not-
obliging and chivalrous?
No, it's 49.
No, resilient and diligent?
Yeah.
You're a buffalo, Charlie.
I'm a buffalo, yeah.
Yeah, you're a buffalo.
You're a
I'm
buffalo,
I'm
yeah.
a goat. I'm a goat.
I'm a rooster.
You're a rooster. Yes, I don't know what
I'm
you're...
a tiger.
Oh,
I'm a tiger,
I
I'm a
say.
tiger.
I say. So I hope you've enjoyed the piggy session
Yeah.
and others and a few memories of bat stations. And I hope you stay well for the next 4 weeks and we'll be with you soon. Bye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye. Goodbye. Namaste.